Hey guys. I spoke previously about how I am a globalist or a world citizen, whatever you want to call it. And listening to a gentleman, one of my advisors, I consider me an advisor, talking about the outbreak of coronavirus and going through the numbers and all that. And it really hit me that nationalism doesn't work unless, if you're a white man, you believe in the system, you want the system to continue, you can be a nationalist. If you got money, you can be a nationalist. But if you're a regular person, you're out here living in a society of a bunch of billionaires that have more power than half of the country, half of, the U.S., they got more power than most of the U.S. You very quickly realize nationalism doesn't work. I think nationalism is something that makes hillbillies feel good. I think they want to return to the way things once were. But one thing going into the future, I realize we have unique problems in the world today that nationalism just won't cover. If climate change is real, what can one nation do about climate change? If you have these big disasters and big emergencies from climate change, what's nationalism going to do about that? How is nationalism going to fix those things? Pandemics, how's it going to fix those things? Not that it's something wrong with being proud to be an American or proud to be European, but when you do what Trump has done and you take it as far as he's taken it, I just think it makes it very difficult to deal with issues. And I'm watching Trump taking money from the FEMA to put towards the border. I'm watching him take money from the military to put towards the border. I'm watching Republicans do all this money to investigate how climate change will affect the military. And I just realized that these white men, they've kind of given up on us. And in essence, they've said that, we don't care, and that they're going to continue doing what they're doing, continue waging war, no matter what we think, no matter if we like it or don't like it. And they're just going to engage in as much violence as possible against people that try to stop them. And that's the world. Sorry, looking for this. That's the world that I'm looking at. I'm looking at a world that's run by psychopaths. I feel that way more and more almost every day. I live in a psychopathic society. I live in a society that is not reasonable. It's not reasonable, and more every day, it has less legitimacy in my mind, much less legitimacy, and therein lies all the violence. Therein lies all the police state tactics. Therein lies all the aggression. That's where that comes from. It's a society that is not legitimate, maybe even knows it. And so to continue doing what they're doing, they use more violence. I was taught in school about the consent of the governed. And I look at what goes on in America today, and it's like, man, I'm not sure a lot of these police departments even know what that means. Consent of the governed. What is that? Yeah. What does it mean? It means working hand in hand with the community, and the community respecting and appreciating what you're doing. Anyway, I just, I don't know. I just realized that I'm never going to be able to really get the rednecks, the Trump supporters, the nativists. I'm never going to bring them to my side, and I'm okay with that. And that's hard. Because I was raised, if you're not nice, say don't say nothing at all. And I was raised with things like that, and I realized with hillbillies, you can't do that, because that's not how they think. That's not how they operate. They don't operate off of the same stuff. And now, but that's weakness. We are facing, I won't say an extinction level event, but we're facing a very serious event. And Trump's not even really talking about it. This is what I mean when I tell you that America doesn't have any leadership right now. We don't. We got a bunch of racists and white supremacists running wild out here. There's no judgment. There's no justice in America. There's no competent judgment from the executive office. You know, and I'm really, my thing is, you know, when you live in a society like I've lived in, that just operates in a vacuum, you're dealing under a government that operates as though nobody else's opinion matters, nothing else matters. I think you kind of accept your own death. Maybe it sounds dark or depressive, but I just accept it. I accept I said about the aliens landed. Like on Journeyman, if aliens came and said, listen, a nuclear war is coming, we've got to stop it. You, America, are the biggest threat to world peace there is. I'd bow my head. I wouldn't say a word, because I can't argue with that. That's 110% true. Especially in the South. Especially the South. Especially the South. I would just bow my head, because I couldn't even argue with that. I could argue with no part of that logic. You know, it'd be sad. I don't want to die. But it's just that, you know, being around this system and dealing with so many people that don't care, that want to sit around and talk about a basketball player for almost a fucking month. I just realized that I live in a psychopathic society. I live in a society that really has no reason, no proper judgment. We've been at war for almost 20 years on the basis of a lie, and we're getting ready to start another war. And most Americans are like, what's the big deal? So what? We got a pandemic bearing down. They've told us we have like 13 years before climate change is irreversible. No one's talking about this, and nothing's being done about that either. So I mean, I'm at the point to where it's like, I just want to get the hell out of here. I want to leave the South. Period. There's nothing here worth fighting for. Nothing. A bunch of old white trash, a whole bunch of dumbass rednecks that want to hold on to a society that wasn't good for a whole lot of people, including their ancestors, and push some sort of an agenda, push some sort of an ideology that didn't work then and doesn't work now. And it's just so frustrating sometimes. Maybe I sound depressive or negative, but it's so disgusting and it's so irritating to talk to people that are so fucking ignorant and realize I'm on my own here. It makes me feel like those survivalists in a way, that they need to start, people need to start dying. But I don't feel like that. I don't want people to die. I want people to wake up, I want people to learn, but I don't want people to, I don't seek that. Even if a parent is a bad person, I don't want him to die if he's a parent, because he's still touching somebody. He has someone's heart. And I value, that's what's changed about me as a man, is that I value human life. That's right. I value human life. No matter how ignorant it may get. I don't think that America is a force for good anymore. It hasn't been that way for a very long time. I'm quite embarrassed. I meet people from other countries. I'm quite embarrassed because I know that we're not even, what do they say, with great power comes great responsibility. From who much is given, much is expected, in essence. And America is just constant warmongering, constant aggression. Peace out.